in this case, we have as we have different figures, and we have different equivalent units in this situation, because we have zero equivalent units over here. But if these have the same, but this is the different, but in this situation we can have that. But because this is a journal format, so you can apply that. Otherwise you can calculate that we add up all these 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 costs. We will have sum of these 4 costs, and then multiply them with the 1000. Then we can have a sum of these all total cost. But material B is 0. So it means that total cost of these are 4 cost elements. So exclude 0.45 from this cost and multiply this with the 1000, then we will get this figure as well. But here we can apply this by applying or by following this format, and easily can be calculated. So that's why I would recommend you to calculate in every cost element and sum up of this at the end of the figure, and total them to reconcile the total costs. In this way we have a cost of lost units, that is 13,235. This figure, this is the ending work in process figure, and this is the units completed figure. When we add up these three figures, we will have total cost which we have applied to that department, that is 1,69,085. And this cost has been reconciled with this total cost which were added to this department. So in this way we can reconcile our total cost. And this is the whole cost of production report when there are normal as well as abnormal losses. When we have normal loss, we do not add those normal loss units in calculation of equivalent units as per rule. And when we have abnormal loss, we add the abnormal loss units in our calculation of equivalent units. And if we have a stage of completion of those abnormal loss unit, we will multiply that stage of completion with that. And if we have these abnormal loss units at the end of the process, we will have 100% of cost elements, and we will not multiply this with the 100%. We will treat them like first completed units. Only in that case where we have lost units at the end of the process. And if we have lost units during the process, then we will multiply the stage of completion with those lost units, because they have not consumed the cost after their loss. So that's why we will compute equivalent units in this way. And equivalent unit calculation will help us out calculation of per unit cost, and this per unit cost will be accumulated as a per unit cost of that department in a particular period. And we will use this to assign the cost to completed units and in process units and lost units. And these three figures will be calculated for reconciliation of cost charged to that department, that is 1,69,085. Then how we will record this cost? Journal entries for the month of February of the department B would be as when we transfer cost from department A to department B, that is 51,000, which has been given in our this table. This is 51,000. So we will debit department work in process department B account debited, and work in process department A account credited, because department B is the receiving department and work in process department B account will be increased. That's why it is debited. And work in process department A account cost has been transferred from department A, so their account will be decreased. That's why their account is credited. Then work in process department B account is debited with the cost charged to that department in the current period. We had charged material 17,870, 37,580 labor was charged, and 46,975 overhead was charged. So these figures can be taken from this table. This is the material cost, both of them. This is labor cost and this is FOH cost. We can use these figures over here. Otherwise we have these figures in our question. when we have total of these figures, we will have a debit of work in process department B account. So work in process department B account debited, and materials account credit, payroll or wages payable account credit, and factory overhead account is credited. Then finished goods accounts are debited with the completed goods. We have completed the units that are 10,000 units and transferred to the finished goods. The cost of those 10,000 units have been calculated in our reconciliation summary, that is 1,36,852. For the calculation of this figure, we have made all these calculations. We have prepared the cost of production report for calculation of this summary and to record this transaction to make this journal entry. So finished goods account debit, that is 1,36,852, and work in process department B is credited because cost has been transferred from work in process department B to the finished goods, and work in process department B account has been reduced. When the asset is reduced, it is credited, and finished goods asset is increased, that why it is debited. And we will charge the loss to the other account, other losses. So other losses account debit and work in process B account credit. We have excluded the cost from work in process department B and charged it to the other losses account. This is the entry of abnormal loss. We have excluded that cost from work in process department B. It means we have not charged that loss to the good units. But in normal loss, we haven't made any entry of normal loss because we are not distinguishing that cost from the good unit cost, and we have included that cost in good unit cost. That's why we have not to make any entry. Automatically that cost or that loss has been included in per unit cost. But this loss has been excluded, has been separated from our regular production costs. That's why we make this entry separately. And when we post these entries or post these costs in our work in process account, we have this shape of work in process account. On the debit side of work in process account, we have opening balance of work in process inventory. This figure is the, or this side of the work in process account is this table. This table gives us a debit side of work in process account. That is the debit side of one entry and debit side on second entry. So this is basically debit side work in process beginning inventory. Total I have taken total cost. I can take individual items as well. Here I have received department A cost, that is 51,000. Here I have material charge to that department, payroll charge to that department, factory overhead charge to that department. So these are debited. And where the department B was credited, I have posted those entries over here. Finished goods account was debited due to work in process department B account, that is 1,36,852. And we had abnormal loss and other losses account was charged to that account, that loss. That's why department B account was credited due to abnormal loss, that is 13,235. And the remaining is 18,998. That is the ending work in process balance, and that ending work in process balance is over here. These are the amounts of ending work in process balance I have calculated over here. So this is the whole, these figures are the credit side of work in process account. So the cost of production report is basically the reflection of work in process account. This is the debit side of work in process account, and this is the credit side of work in process account. In this way, we can have a cost calculation in process costing when there is a normal as well as abnormal loss at the same time, and we can have journal entries for our recording of the cost and preparation of work in process account. Hope so you have understood all the concepts very well and can apply these to your numerical calculations and your exercises and your practical fields. Thank you so much for being with me.